Okay guys, so I just thought I'd give you a quick tip on how you can prepare some rigs at home before you get out on the bank. So what I'm using is the Crack and Tackle chod filament, which is in £20. It's a clear chod filament, comes in a 20-metre spool, and also the Crack and Armour Weave camouflage braid, which is a soft braid, not coated, so very supple. And the rig that I'm going to be tying is a combi rig, so it's a combination of the two materials. And the idea is that you can prepare these rigs whilst you're at home, and then you could set them up when you get out on the bank. So you don't have to really do the full rig, but I'll show you as much as I can on this video. So taking about 12 inches of the chod filament, just going to cut that, and about 4 or 5 inches of the actual camo braid. So you've got the camo braid and the chod filament. Don't worry about it being looped up like that. So what you want to do is fold the braid to form a loop, and then form a loop in the end of the chod section. And you're going to join these two components together using the Albright knot. It's a really good knot for joining two different materials, particularly braid and chod or fluorocarbon. So just pull the actual two ends of the braid through the loop of the chod filament and leave about an inch from the end of the loop of the chod to the end of the loop of the braid. Okay, and once you've got that, you need to wrap the two ends of the braid around the chod filament 4 or 5 times, and I would go back up 1 or 2 times as well. Right, so once you've done that, it's important that you pass the two ends of this braid now back through the loop of the chod filament the same way that you took the braid through in the first place. Okay, so it's coming through that way, look, so I'm just pulling it back through that way. Keep hold of the chod end and obviously the loop, and just tease that knot down the chod filament like that. Okay. Wet it before you pull it tight. Always wet your knots. So now you should have a nice strong knot. What you can do then is just with the puller tool pull that nice and tight, so that you know. If it slips at that point, then you know that what you've probably done is you've passed them two end tags through the wrong way. So just retie it, just go through the same process again, but you can see that that is solid, so that's been tied correctly. So what you need to do now is just trim the ends. So trim the ends of the braid, and I like to use nail clippers for trimming the chod filament nice and tight. You can get it nice and tight when you do it like that. You see it? Okay, so there's your Albright knot. Don't worry about those little tag ends being a bit untidy, because what you're going to do is when you balance this out on the side of the lake, you're going to put some putty over that. So that's the actual rig section, if you like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a bait ring, and I'm going to put on a curve shank offset microbarbed hook from Crack and Tackle again. I like these for this rig because of the aggressive curve that they've got. And that is a size 8, so I'd probably use a 12mm pop-up on the back of that, possibly a 14. Clearly if you want to use a bigger pop-up, then go for a bigger hook, go for a size 6 maybe if you're going to use a 15 or 16mm pop-up or bigger. Okay, now the beauty of this rig is that that section that you've tied will probably last you half a season, because what you're going to do is you're going to pass that loop through the eye of the hook, and you'll have to bear with me because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I might have to get the baiting needle to do that. Those of you with better eyesight will be able to do this a lot easier than me, but with a bit of patience and a bit of perseverance it will go through. Just bear with me, guys. There we go. Got there in the end. Okay, so for those of you that tie the multi-rig, this is the equivalent of that really, in the sense that it's going to fold over. It's going to fold over that hook. But before we fold it over, I'm going to put on a small bait screw, again from Crack and Tackle. There we go, you can see that. So we just pass that loop through the end eye of the bait screw, so it's on there like that, and the hook sliding up and down as well. And then, like you would with the multi-rig, open up this loop and pass it over the hook and just pull down. It's a bit fiddly, but don't be put off by that, because trust me, this rig is awesome. So then all you need to do is just tease that up to there, so that what you can see now is you've got like a multi-rig set up. And obviously you can steam all of that straight, and steam that straight. But that's the setup that you want. What I'm going to do now is get some tubing and put a small piece of tubing over the eye of that hook. And this is clear tubing, so and you just thread that through the shot section, pull it down over the knot, and then over the end of the hook, just to hold that in place, that section in place there. Now you can use normal tubing, you can use shrink tube if you want to, but the problem with using shrink tube is that when you want to then change the rig, the hook, you've got to tie up a new section again. Whereas with this rig, if you were to put some tight tubing on, a bit like that there, you can actually then slide that tubing off, down, out of the way. You can pull that through, take the hook off, and then slide another hook back on, and you're still keeping the same boom section. You're just changing the hook, obviously when it's gone blunt, or if you've had a few fish on it and you're not as confident with the hook point. So as I say, when you're out on the bank, you just need to put some putty around that knot to balance it for whatever pop-up it is that you've got. But you can tie half a dozen of those in the house, and then you're ready to go when you get out on the bank.